Let's now cut across live to the Indian Ministry of External Affairs addressing the media on the historic visit of German Chancellor Friedrich Merz.
As you are all aware, the Chancellor of the Federal Republic of Germany, His Excellency Friedrich Merz, is on his first official visit to India after taking over as Chancellor. Notably, this is also his first visit to Asia after taking office last year. He arrived in Ahmedabad very early this morning, around 2 o'clock in the morning, and was warmly received at the airport by the Honorable Governor, the Honorable Chief Minister of Gujarat, and the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister. The Chancellor is accompanied by a high-powered official delegation as well as a large business delegation, which reflects the importance that both sides place on the trade, business and investment side of the relationship. The timing of this visit is also particularly significant. It's taking place in the Silver Jubilee year, 25 years after the establishment of the strategic partnership between India and Germany, and it is also taking place in the Platinum Jubilee year, the 75th year after the establishment of diplomatic relations between India and the Federal Republic of Germany. And the visit therefore provides an opportunity to take stock of this very rich, very important partnership, and more importantly, to set an ambitious agenda and target for the future. The Chancellor had a busy program on the first day of the visit. In fact, he's still in the process of completing his engagements for the day. This morning, he was welcomed by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi at Sabarmati Ashram. The two leaders visited the ashram and paid tribute to the memory of Mahatma Gandhi. They visited Hriday Kunj, where the Chancellor was given a demonstration of the Charkha. And thereafter, at the Sabarmati riverfront, Chancellor Merz and Prime Minister Modi participated in the famous kite festival of Ahmedabad, which sees participants and visitors from around the world. Following that, the Chancellor and the Prime Minister held wide-ranging discussions in restricted as well as delegation-level formats, covering the entire spectrum of the bilateral relationship, as well as regional and global developments. And let me just give you a flavor of the discussions that took place between the two leaders. The Chancellor, for instance, remarked on the changing world order, the instability that global order is facing, and why in this context it is ever more important for India and Germany to take their relationship to a new level and to do much more, in fact, in his words. And in this context, he laid particular emphasis on Germany's very strong support for the early conclusion of the India-EU FTA. As you are all aware, in another fortnight's time, the EC President and the European Council President both will be visiting New Delhi, where we hope to take these discussions forward towards a favorable conclusion. Chancellor Merz also emphasized repeatedly the strategic approach that Germany was bringing to its relationship with India, that it regarded the relationship with India as an asset in these uncertain times. And in particular, again, there was a considerable amount of discussion on the defense side of the relationship, which is seeing good and very promising progress. One of the things that has been a high point in the relationship in recent years is the people-to-people relationship. The growing Indian expatriate community in Germany, including students. There are today nearly 60,000 students in Germany and nearly 300,000 people of Indian origin in Germany, a number that has grown quite significantly in just the last half a dozen years or so. And it was heartening to hear Chancellor Merz extend a hearty welcome to this expatriate community, to Indian students, to skilled workers from India, given the fact that they complement the needs that German society, German business, and the German economy have at this point in time. And this is now important enough for the German authorities to consider putting dedicated institutional arrangements in place to look at issues related to the community. As you are aware, the two leaders also addressed the CEO's forum after their talks, and there too, again, the Chancellor emphasized that it was not a coincidence that India was his first destination in Asia after taking over as Chancellor. He referred to the fact that India and Germany share a relationship of long-standing trust, of political principles and democratic institutions, and that in these times it was particularly important to strengthen resilience, to protect our respective economic bases, especially against dangerous one-sided dependency on external actors. And therefore, it was important to diversify our supply chains, increase the linkages that we have between our trade, business, and investment communities. And testimony of that was the very strong business delegation that was accompanying him. In his remarks, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi pointed to the strong growth that had taken place in trade between India and Germany, which has now crossed nearly $51 billion. And that represents a quarter of all of India's trade with the European Union. And the Honorable Prime Minister emphasized on the need to draw up a vision for taking this development forward. He also referred to the trend that we are seeing in terms of control and weaponization of technologies, and therefore the need for India and Germany to cooperate in this regard. And therefore some of the agreements that are being or that were signed during this visit and announced during this visit, such as those related to semiconductors, to critical minerals, etc., were also referred to by the Prime Minister. A special mention was also made by the Prime Minister of the flagship India-Germany Cooperation Program, the Green and Sustainable Development Program, under which Germany extends assistance to green energy infrastructure programs in India. And I should say that two of those programs are in this state itself, in the form of the assistance that has been extended to the Ahmedabad Metro and to the Surat Metro project. In addition, the Prime Minister also welcomed the ongoing cooperation between India and Germany on green hydrogen, as well as the agreement that was signed, again announced during this visit, on the offtake of green ammonia from an Indian company by a German company. Prime Minister also referred, in keeping with the focus on technology cooperation between the two countries, on the need to expand our defense cooperation, the potential that was there for space cooperation. Germany has recently set up a dedicated ministry for research and development in space, so that offers new opportunities, and how science and technology has been an area of long-standing engagement between India and Germany. And finally, as did the Chancellor, the Prime Minister as well, emphasized on the Indian expatriate community in Germany as a constructive force, as one that brought in complementarity between Indian skills and German manufacturing, and the fact that Germany was increasingly emerging as a preferred education destination for Indian students. So these were amongst the key subjects that the leaders touched on. As I said, the two sides also exchanged a number of important agreements and understandings. This has been a very outcome-rich visit. 19 MOUs were signed and exchanged during this visit, and a further 8 announcements related to different areas and understandings were made. So total of about 27 outcomes during this very, very short visit that is taking place. A list of these announcements, these agreements and undertakings will be available on our website very soon after this briefing, together with the joint statement that has also been released by the two sides on the occasion of this visit. The Chancellor is currently visiting the world-famous Adlej Stepwell in Ahmedabad, and he will tomorrow travel to Bengaluru, where he will visit the premises of the German company Bosch and the Center for Nanoscience and Engineering at the Indian Institute of Science in Bengaluru. Again, these engagements highlight the strong technology, innovation and industry linkages between the two countries. I'll just refer briefly to some of the key outcomes of the visit. I won't go through all of them. As I said, there are about 27 elements in this, but mainly I would refer and highlight the joint declaration of intent for the India-Germany CEOs Forum and the holding of the CEOs Forum meeting. There were understandings adopted in the areas of semiconductors, critical minerals, telecommunications, artificial intelligence, and the digital domain. The two sides also launched a new bilateral R&D program in bioeconomy and concluded an MOU in traditional medicine between the All India Institute of Ayurveda and Sharita University. They also, as I said, witnessed the announcement of an offtake agreement between AM Green and Uniper Global Commodities for the initial supply of 125 kilotons of green ammonia per annum, scaling up to over 500 kilotons per annum over 15 years to Germany. The two leaders have also announced their intention to develop a defense industrial cooperation roadmap, and insofar as the key area of mobility, education and skilling is concerned, in this too there are